You are under a spell. There are spells on the mind which cannot see what is before it. What is before you? So, welcome in, and I am freshly up for today, wanting to share the dispelling of perspective. We will talk about for 30 minutes the following topic: how to break this spell upon my mind, how to break free of the cage, of the weight, of the shackles that each and every one of us have inherited. Now, I will start by saying that I don't do too well in monologuing. I do really well in question and answer form. But let's see. Let's see what we can do here with this. One comes onto a live like this when they have something to say, when they have something to share. And I believe that it is good to have a platform in this way because everyone has a very unique perspective. Everyone has an energy that they bring to the table, they bring to the world. And even though many speak of the same things, it's still nice to have someone that you can resonate with. So, in saying that, I propose the following. I propose that everything on the planet is trying to multiply itself. There's a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a survival. There's a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a survival appears to be serving you, but in reality, it is only gives you fruit. The fruit tastes good to you, and in that way, you think the tree serves you this delicious food out of servitude. But what's really trying to happen here is that the tree and you have a symbiotic relationship, and you have the software to encounter the fruits. You have the necessity to burn fuel in order to stay alive. And the tree also wants to maintain heredity. And in doing so, it has produced something tasteful to you. And at the same time, it does so in order to propagate its heredity, the seed within the fruit. Now, hopefully, you will eat the fruits, travel some distance, and then you will poop the seed onto the fertile soil, and that will produce another tree. Heredity. That is its goal. But it is wrapped in deliciousness in order for it to give it to you so you may eat it. Now, there is a lesson in there, and that lesson, the information is hidden, it is obscured. The information is occulted, just like the seed. Do you think the animals in the world understand that the seed is the hidden meaning between the symbiotic relationship of the fruit tree and the thing eating the fruits. No, it doesn't. But that is the mathematics behind the process. There is a mechanism for survival here, and you must understand that that is what is driving everything in the world besides you. But it is cast its spell on your mind. It has cast its spell on your existence until you can reveal the hidden information within the proverbial fruit. Now, the poor little animals and the graze, the pastures, and the eat all that stuff, they don't have the mentality, they don't have the level of development to allow them to have the mentality, they don't have the level of development to allow them to, let's say, break out of that square in which they exist. It's a one plane of existence. I am alive. I am hungry. I must reproduce. I am alive. I am hungry. I must reproduce. That is a square, one plane of existence, right? But you, my friend, are alive. You are hungry. You must reproduce. But why? You have the ability to ask why. You have the ability to look at this square and to realize that you are in a square, and then you have the urge to exit. You have the urge to escape the square. But you see that everyone else around you is not acknowledging the square is there, so you don't want to look weird because you want to multiply, you want to propagate your seed. So you shut the fuck up and you keep walking around in the square because you're trying to get that reproduction. And if you look a little weird, you're not going to be able to reproduce. See, that spell is cast inside of your brain already. You do that calculation without even thinking about it. It's instilled in you. It is urging you to spread your heredity. This is the programming. Now, I'm not going to make grander uh, parallels. I'm not going to make grander parallels into this, but let's tie this into religion. Let's tie this into answering the question of why am I here? In order for you to break free of the square, we call this perpendicular to the square. If I gave you a book that described to you all the questions that you're trying to ask, and that question was that book was also formulated by others like yourself in a time and in a place, very two important things, in a time and in a place. God damn, I got no likes. No likes. No likes. If you are here and you are just passively listening or doing something else and you're gone. Okay. Let's not do it. So it's hard to do this because there is a string here that is being created, like braiding a narrative, and maybe this would be better suited for a narrative, and maybe this would be better suited for that other platform. But whatever, we'll continue and pass this recording over there. So if you found this in this other platform, now you know why. The book. right? Handed to you by people in a time and a place, which are two very important details here, and a time and a place where their understanding of the square that they exist in was extremely limited. And they will produce limited material, even though in their meditation they are receiving answers that explains it. They have to use terminology, they have to use ideas, they have to use descriptions that are locked into their location and time, which we use one word to describe that as temporal. Temporal location, which means location in time and place. These are important words to understand this topic. Temporal location. Then you get this book in a different temporal location, and now there is a heredity, there is a grand following that has been produced around this text while the rest of the world has been moving forward. But since you are surrounded by these people and you yourself want to reproduce, it happens in your brain without you even being a mathematician. And you say, I can't look weird around my tribe because I need to put my seed in one of them. And if I don't act accordingly, I will lose that opportunity because there's a drive in me to do this thing. So, like the fruit tree, you will make something about yourself attractive, tasteful. You will lead your life doing this thing, observing how the others get together and make children, and you will follow that suit. You will follow that blueprint in order for you to get your seed inside of another person. Just like the fruit tree is trying to do the same thing. And these two things trap you in the square. Now, in order to move perpendicular to the square, notice that you have to move outside of it. If you want to move up or to the side of it, you have to do a perpendicular move. You have to override the mathematics that is imprinted in you. All right, sorry for sounding like that. It's just the only way that I can do this. We are living in a very specific and special time because we can now see that there are other things at work here. We have the terminology to describe it thanks to all of those who have come, who have done diagnostics on the square, diagnostics on this paradigm, and they have allowed us to procure terminology that describes this better. Just as time progresses, so will our intelligence and understanding of the world and our technology to be able to enhance the information that is coming into us. This rewrites our programming. Now, this rewrites our ability to comprehend things. I guess it does alter the programming. It assists us in doing so. So let's give you an example to this without steering far away from the conversation. My eyes allow me to see down the way just a limited amount of distance. But if I put a telescope or some binoculars in front of me, it allows me to get farther away in order for me to see things that are farther from me. that technology has now bridged or breached a limitation in my input, sensory input. But what technology can I use to alter the processing of the information which I have now gathered thanks to this technology that has brought the world that was far away closer? Because all I'm doing is making my eyes better. All I'm doing is making my skin better. All I'm doing is making my ears better. All I'm doing is making my mouth better, my nose better. All of these things are improving these things with technology, right? But it doesn't matter because the operating system in your brain still has to, how can I say, deal with the information that is coming in through your sensory organs, process that, and now the understanding grows. So when I find through this methodology, when I find through this technology, because that is located in time and space, temporal position, when that is revealed, when that is enhanced, we find that what is happening is that our ability to think perpendicular to the square is actually movement outside of it. You can meditate and understand this innately, but there are those who do that and they create new words that unlock these things within us. Building blocks. Building blocks. Very simple, very simple, very simple. Building blocks. But they do allow you to move perpendicular to the square. And if without you being able to do that, you will remain in the square. Now, the spell that I spoke about at the beginning is the one that you inherit from your tribe. It is up to you to breach the spell and to see the square for what it is. Why? Well, nature has been using this system of moving a seed of heredity. It has been using this function, this way of being, in order to be able to reproduce itself. It's just what life does. But once we see the development of life, once we see what it's actually doing, we can put these pieces together, and what once appeared to be a lifeless, what once appeared to be a just natural movements. Let me get away from this person. Just a natural, this is just the way things are. This is the way of the world. No, no. It appears like that from the level of the square, right? When you move outside of the square, now we can see what is going on in the square. We can now move perpendicular to it. We can now break free of that square. And now we build on the square and we make a cube. There is this other layer to this thing. There's these other dimensions that I can walk around in. But as long as you don't change your programming, as long as you don't change the operating system in your head, you will just be moving around in the cube like an animal. it doesn't, you see it, you have the ability to do the movement, the perpendicular movement, because of your level of development. Now, that makes you an intelligent human animal. And that's what we've been doing in all of this development. We have been moving in this way. But now in the cube, you realize, okay, well, there's this other direction that I can move, and that direction as well. And now I'm seeing that these corners extend up. I hope you can follow what I'm trying to say here, because I am being a little cryptic, but I'm trying to reveal this to you. The programming allows you to reveal another layer of the square. It builds on it, builds upon the square. And we are able to see what nature has been doing, why it's been doing it. But what about us? Where do we come into this picture? Where do we land in this whole thing? Why am I able to question this? Why am I able to question this? Why am I able to see it from this perspective? Why am I able to? Oh, oh, I see. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All of a sudden, it dawns on you. There is a revelation, and I'm not going to give it to you because even if I did, you are still under a spell and you would reject it. Because if you take my temporal location information and try to apply it to your temporal location, you're going to say there's a quick mathematical equation that you will balance out in your head without being a mathematician. And you will say, he makes sense, but I'm going to reject it because I need to maintain my heredity. And if I do what he's saying, I'm going to look weird in my tribe, and then I won't be able to spread my seed. Now, what's going on here is curious because you're still trying to lock into your paradigm because the mathematics in your head, the spell is telling you, yeah, that's weird. My tribe's not going to allow that, and they're not going to want to mate with me. I need to get the seed out of here because I need to do this thing there. If not, I will fail. I need to not fail. It's a spell that you're under. And even though I give the revelation to you, you will reject it because of the spell that you're under. And I see this happen time and time again, especially with religiously inclined thinking minds. Religiously inclined thinking minds are the most apparent spellcrafters. Man, that thing is thick. That thing is thick. And the word that I'm going to look for here to apply this thickness to is concealment. The concealment is very thick. They run away from it. Oh, I can't listen to this. I can't. It's the devil. It's the devil. The square is our path. We must walk the square. Because if I don't walk the square, perish. We shall perish. Very dangerous. Actually, no, it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable. It's so satisfying that the mathematics in our head have a solution. The balancing, the balancing of the mathematics. Oh, how delicious. Oh, how delicious the balancing of this mathematics. The resolution of the chord. You know, when you listen to music and it doesn't resolve. Ugh, that is so bad. You know why it's bad? Because there is a thing inside of us that requires resolution. We want it to resolve so that we can get the seed out. Within this explanation, there is revelation. And I'm sorry to be so cryptic, but you need to break that spell. And then you will be able to understand it. Shalom.